As the leaders drive down hard, and it is Anthony Hiscock, the man who finished in the third position in the first heat, seemingly out of the race because he would have to drive magnificently and way above his level to get up towards the front of this race, which is being led at the moment by the Heat 1 leader, the oldest man in the race, the fastest man of the afternoon so far, Wilf Gregory, the marine engineer from Solihull in his Burgess Mercury boat. Behind him in second place with 1 lap completed, the yellow boat of double world champion in the OE class, Welshman Roger Jenkins from Risker, boat number 9. There is the battle down to the bottom turn. And in this race, as in the heats, getting the balance of the boats right is absolutely critical. Feathering the prop, the motor, getting the angle of inclination right, getting the air under the tunnel right, getting the minimum wetted area of the sponsons at the back of the boat on the water, and Roger Jenkins taking a very wide turn as the leader, Wilf Gregory, punches away from the top turn into the bottom, into the long straight again. And on this lap, the leader, Wilf Gregory, is 1.7 seconds ahead of Roger Jenkins. In third place, it's the man who was second in the second heat, Neil Gregg from Kirby Rain in Norfolk. And look back, there is the gap. There is Roger Jenkins through in the yellow boat, and there is Neil Gregg, the man with the badly injured hand in the Velden Mariner boat in third position, and he is ahead of number 11, Clive Hook, 40-year-old Clive Hook, the man who has comparatively recently come back from South Africa after 10 years there. And there is Hook just coming into the picture. Meantime, it is still Wilf Gregory leading on lap 4 out of lap 20. This is the battle for the Embassy Gold Cup. Building up now to 110 miles an hour, 200 horsepower plus in those 6-cylinder, 2-stroke engines behind the drivers. Bottom turn, Gregory, Jenkins, look back along the course and you may just see a flash of the third place man, Neil Gregg. No change for third position, no change for fourth position, it's still Clive Hook. In fifth position, it's still Alan Lawson. There is the gap between the second and third men as the fourth man rounds the turn, and that's number 11, Clive Hook from Lymington in Hampshire. And in fifth and sixth positions, it is Alan Lawson in the Hodges Mercury and Malcolm Burnap in the Hodges Mariner. Quarter distance, that is, lap 5. Grey-haired Wilf Gregory, nothing to be ashamed of, and my goodness, he's showing his class in this race. He led the first heat from the moment the flag dropped until the race finished, and he won it by a derisory amount. And I do believe that Roger Jenkins has got something in reserve, but the man of the race, as Jenkins goes very, very wide indeed, without a doubt, so far, is Gregory, the leader. He's been in racing a long time. There is Jenkins, the double world champion in the smaller class, and Jenkins, by the way, is in third position in this year's World Championship, having finished well up in all the races that were held so far. That's the yellow boat in second position, second in the long race on the Parker River in America, fourth in Italy, fourth at the Embassy Grand Prix in Bristol, fourth again in Spain, and Roger Jenkins, number 9 there, won the Italian Grand Prix last weekend, so he is on top of his form. So is Gregory, the leader, 40. Lap 7. Coming up, in fact, to the end of lap 7, and Jenkins is closing as they take the turn. On lap 8 now, coming up to complete lap 8. The gap is closing. Gregory, it's amazing how wide Jenkins takes that turn. And now they're closing up on the tail ender as they come into the finish straight to complete their 8th lap. And the gap between the two of them as they go up to the turn is 47/100ths of a turn. It looks second, and it looks as though Jenkins was going to make his challenge there. But again, he's dropped back. at the end of every lap, Gregory is significantly faster at the top turn. He makes a much tighter turn. He gets the power down earlier. That boat fairly streaks away. It's a Burgess hull with a Mercury engine, and Jenkins in the yellow boat has got a Seabold hull designed and built by the great Billy Seabold, the American world champion, who was supposed to be here today but unfortunately wasn't able to turn up. And Jenkins' Seabold hull is powered by a Mariner engine. So Mercury engine leading, there it is, with Wilf Gregory in front of it. Feathering the boat, operating those trim buttons on the steering wheel, feeding in the power with the accelerator under his right foot. No other controls, of course, no gearbox on a boat, therefore no clutch. So it's just the accelerator pedal and the trim buttons. Very wide again. Now, this is lap 10. This is the half-distance lap, as Gregory cuts it very tight indeed, and it looks to me as though Greg, number 5, is starting to close. So, Gregory, 14, in the lead. From Solihull, from Risker in Gwent, Roger Jenkins in the yellow boat in second position. Look back and see, there is Neil Gregg in the background. That is number 5, Neil Gregg in the Veldon Mariner, the man who was second in the first heat, who put up a tremendous fight against Roger Jenkins. It's not, it's Hiscock. It's through. It's Anthony Hiscock there. He has been lapped by the first two. His boat very much like that of Neil Gregg. Thought it was strange that Gregg should have gained so much in so short a time. And so now on lap 12 out of 20, no change for the first two, and this is the battle in the race, because Gregg is indeed some distance behind in third place. Clive Hook is a long way back in fourth position. In fifth and sixth places, it's still Alan Lawson in the Hodges Mercury, who was so close to Gregg and Jenkins in the second heat. And in sixth position, it's Anthony Hiscock, who has been lapped. Another lap almost completed. The leader, and Jenkins closes again now. Is Jenkins going to go wide on this turn? He's taking it much tighter this time. He seems to have decided to change his tactics in the closing stages of the race, because they are on lap 13 out of 20 in this 17-mile race. And the lap record here held by Mark Wilson, who is here today but failed to come out in his heat because he had clogged fuel injection. But nevertheless, his lap record, 35.9 seconds around this 1,500-yard lap, the speed of 84.2 miles an hour. And again, Jenkins closes. And this time, Jenkins is overlapping his sponsons right up alongside, and again he drifts wide. But again, the leader, Gregory, holds that tight line, and again, Jenkins fails to get through. Now look under the boats and compare them. You can see the propeller in the middle thrashing away at the water, and Jenkins leads. Jenkins is through. Now on lap 14 in this 20-lap race, for the first time, Roger Jenkins has got the nose of his boat ahead of that of Wilf Gregory. Has he been bluffing all the time? Has he been studying Gregory's tactics? We'll soon see, because I suspect that this man, number 9, Roger Jenkins, will not only want to leave his mark on this race by winning the Gold Cup, but also by putting up a new lap record. So we'll put the stopwatch on him next time and see how his time compares with that of Mark Wilson, the lap record holder. Jenkins through for the first time in the lead. There is Gregory dropping back, so his boat is either in trouble or Jenkins has now decided to clear off. The stopwatch will tell us. That is the three-quarter distance lap position. Jenkins, Gregory, Gregg now a third of a lap, I would say, behind the first two, behind the second place man, Wilf Gregory from Solihull, let alone Roger Jenkins from Wales. There's a supreme stylist at work, a great champion, Roger Jenkins. 1977 Personality of the Year in the motorboat world. And his time, 37.28, compares with the fastest lap we've had so far of Gregory at 36.8. So Gregory is going slower than he did in his heat, but is yet in second position behind the leader, who is going slower than Gregory did in heat 1. So this whole race is being run at a slower speed, and there is the second place man, Wolf Gregory. Jenkins clears the turn. Imagine what it is like in that boat. No suspension, of course, no springing in the seats. The plywood hull bounces and buckets across the water as the boat goes from the rear of the sponson onto the full sponson. You can feel the drive of the engine right through the hull, and you need to be very, very fit indeed. Plus, of course, to have superlative reflexes. And Jenkins has got them. The leader, number 9, is now on his 19th lap, and he is leading by an ever-increasing margin from Wilf Gregory in second place, whose engine is actually sounding rather flat as he goes past me. Jenkins, number 9, the leader in the ON, that's the class Seabold Mariner boat, is 5.26 seconds ahead of Wilf Gregory in second place, with Neil Gregg in third position, Alan Lawson in fourth place, Anthony Hiscock in fifth position, and Clive Hook in sixth place. There is Gregory, second. Lap 19. Round the turn goes Wilf Gregory, looks ahead, and there is the leader coming towards us, and in the background is Gregory, so you can see for yourselves visually what the gap is. 19 laps completed by Roger Jenkins. Neil Gregg has completed 19 laps. All the first 3 are on their last lap, and the leader is on his way down to the bottom turn as the checkered flag is held out. There is the island where the race is started from, as Roger Jenkins goes through inside to lap Alan Lawson, and Lawson was the man who finished third to him and not all that far back. So Roger Jenkins, the winner. In second position, Wilf Gregory. Gregory in the Burgess Mercury. Jenkins in the Seabold Mariner boat. In third position, Neil Gregg in the Veldon Mariner. So Roger has done it again, as he has done so many times in the past. He may well wave his hand in a victory salute. Now you can see what he looks like. He's going grey. Roger Jenkins, 39 years old, actually. Out goes the laurel wreath, and that's Sheila Dyke, who is the wife of Peter Dyke of WD and H.O. Wells. There's Peter in the background, and there is the Embassy Gold Cup, and another great win for Roger Jenkins.
We're now back to Olympic sport, and here on your screen we have